Front and center. Front and center. Front and center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center as we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page, Radyo Pilipinas World Service, and also on our audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And before we tackle today's topic about the proliferation of deepfakes and its regulations through with Cybercrime Coordinating Investigation Center, and we will try to discuss the developments yesterday, particularly the speech of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., because the president has underscored the importance of the United States presence in the Indo-Pacific region as they are treating the U.S. as crucial to preserving a free and open and peaceful region. And in his keynote address at the inaugural Manila Strategy Forum that is being hosted by Center for Strategic and International Studies, or CSIS, in Parañaque City, President Marcos Jr. said that the Philippines and U.S. alliance upholds the rule of law and ensures peace, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly in the ongoing tensions in the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea. And President Marcos Jr. noted that the significant transformations occurring in the Indo-Pacific region that was driven by globalization and the advancement of Asian societies primarily influenced by the United States. The president added that it will be crucial to the free and open nature of the region that the vigor, inventiveness, and resilience that's essential drivers of a great American nation. And it will continue to play a leading role in nurturing a strong and peaceful Indo-Pacific. So that's what President Marcos Jr. said during the Manila Strategy Forum hosted by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, as he gave a keynote speech there. And also, the chief executive said, while confronting geopolitical and economic issues, the United States continues to play a significant role in the world that cannot be replaced, and that its continued engagement in global affairs benefits all, including the United States itself. And meanwhile, Marcos Jr. acknowledged the strong alliance between the United States and other allies as essential to addressing regional security challenges and further boosting economies. As he said, particularly President Marcos Jr. said that reach a necessary and natural progression towards trilateral and multilateral engagements and building individual and collective capabilities to address common challenges. So, meaning to say the United States will play a key role in keeping the peace and security in the Indo-Pacific region, together with its allies, friends, and partners, as they call it. So, Marcos Jr. Stated there that they need the United States more than we need them. So, meaning to say, in to address the regional security challenges. Particularly, we need the United States presence in the West Philippine Sea, where we are securing and maintaining our sovereignty in that disputed seas. And also, besides the United States, President Marcos said the Philippines is very much open to cooperating with its neighbors, not just the United States, and the Philippines has held multilateral maritime cooperative activities or MCAs with following uh, allies such as Australia, Canada, Japan, and New Zealand within the Philippines exclusive economic zones. And just recently, we just secured a reciprocal access agreement with Japan, so that will help bolster our country's position in addressing the maritime and security issues over the Indo-Pacific region, particularly the West Philippine Sea. So while the United States will play its primary role in keeping our maritime and sovereignty rather in the region. So we now have the support of our allies, including Japan, Canada, and Australia, and also New Zealand, and some allies like France will be joining in keeping the peace in the Indo-Pacific region. So having said that, the United States, as we recall, reaffirm and continuing to affirm its closer ties to the Philippines. So as we recall, the President Marcos Jr. had a state or had a official visit in Washington. I think that's last July or August, I think. So upon Marcos Jr.'s visit at the White House, so Marcos maintained its or Marcos said the Philippines will continue and maintain its closer ties with the United States despite the continuing shifting or despite the shifting policies of the Trump administration, and that it shows at the inaugural address or the inaugural the Manila Strategy Forum that was hosted by the CSIS.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And also to in relation to the corruption scandal, particularly the flood control project that is continuously affecting the entire government. So now, yesterday, the Department of Finance has denied the existence of a 28 billion official development assistance or ODA loan from South Korea. The Finance Department made the statement yesterday following reports that South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has suspended the ODA loan due to corruption concerns. Nevertheless, the Finance Department said that reaffirms bilateral partnerships with other countries to build trust and confidence with full transparency and accountability. In another statement, the Finance Department explained that the 28 billion project called PBBM Rural Modular Bridge Project Loan is currently being proposed to be funded by France and not the South Korea. And the DOF said the project was initially considered for funding through South Korea, but the Department of Agrarian Reform decided to halt the previous discussions last year due to non-alignment on scope and other key technical specifications. The DOF added that as early as the last quarter of 2024, the government already decided to look for other bilateral partners who can implement the full scope of project. And also, the DOAB said the Philippine government is now in advanced negotiations with the French government to finalize the project's technical and financial terms. So I think the Department of Agrarian Reform did not push through with its plan to secure loans or ODA loans from South Korea, but rather they have just shifted and looked for another partner country that will continue to do this project called the PBBM Rural Modular Bridge Project. That is currently being proposed to be funded, particularly by the French government, rather. So it's clear that South Korea will not fund this project, but rather by France, since the Philippine government chose to have a partnership with the French government in building these modular bridge projects across the country. So right now, we will have to see if this project of the PBBM Rural Modular Bridge Project under the French government will pursue. So we'll have to check on that. And of course, because we are now in the middle of a investigation regarding the anomalous flood control projects and other investigation related to corrupt practices. So this one must be monitored as well by our people, so that this project will not be, or let's say, will not turn into a corrupt project, or will not turn into anomalous because of some people or some contractors and some officials in the government practicing corrupt practices there.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And before we continue, as mentioned earlier, we will have a discussion regarding the proliferation of deepfakes and how the government is regulating the rise and the usage of this technology. As although it has initial benefits, but as we go along, this deepfake technology that is under artificial intelligence is becoming a threat, and also it's becoming a tool to defraud individuals and do harm to the people. So we will have the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, or CICC, to have these deepfake technology explained and how they can address this situation. But in the meantime, Front and Center will be right back after these short messages.
Mas pinadali na ang government transactions sa tulong ng eGovPH Super App. Pwedeng-pwede mo nang magawa ang lahat ng ito. I-download ang eGov app sa iyong smartphone o tablet mula sa App Store o Google Play Store. Pagkatapos, ilagay ang iyong mobile number at i-authenticate gamit ang one-time PIN o OTP para marehistro ang iyong account. Saka ilagay ang iyong mga pangunahing impormasyon at kumpletuhin ang facial recognition technology para sa verifikasyon ng iyong pagkakakilanlan. Para sa mas mabilis at mas maayos na serbisyong panggobyerno, gamitin na ang eGovPH Super App.
Itinuloy na po natin ang zero balance billing. Libre po. Ibig sabihin, ang serbisyo sa basic accommodation sa ating mga DOH na ospital, wala nang babayaran ang pasyente.
Ang dami pong challenge, hindi po namin alam kung saan namin kukunin, ganon, nag-iisip kung paano namin mababayaran. Siyempre po, masaya, super saya po dahil na zero billing po kami. Opo, malaking po talaga, malaking tulong po. Mabilis lang din po.
Bayad na ang bill ninyo. Uulitin ko, wala nang kailangan bayaran ng pasyente basta sa DOH Hospital. dahil bayad na po ang bill ninyo.
Naiyak ako kasi sobrang saya. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Hindi kami nagkamali ng taong ihinalal.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
We're back here at Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service with me, Jerome Toledo. So, as mentioned earlier, we will have a discussion on the deepfake as technology is rapidly developing at an extraordinary rate, and it delivers good and bad benefits to mankind. And one of them is the deepfakes, and this technology, which is deepfake, is being used to create a near perfect and virtually realistic fabricated images, videos, and audios. But sad to say, though there's a benefit, but this deepfake is now being outweighed by its negative use, and it is now being used to manipulate public opinions, defraud individuals, and do harm on the people. And from political misinformation to non-consensual pornography, the misuse of deepfakes puts our personal security and the integrity of our information in danger. And it also poses challenge on some on our rather current legal and regulatory framework. And to give us more details regarding this proliferation of deepfakes and how is government is addressing this, we now have on the line the acting executive director of the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, none other than Undersecretary Renato Aboy Paraiso. Good morning, Yusek Aboy. Thank you for joining us in the program. This is Jerome Toledo of Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Hello, good morning, and good morning to all your viewers, your listeners, and all their subscribers. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Okay, so in terms of individuals' privacy and reputation, deepfake is being used right now. Although there's the initial benefit of using this, but now it's now becoming a tool for fraud, and at the same time, this technology is tainting the reputation of an individual. So, how is the CICC addresses the threats of deepfakes, Undersecretary?
It's a good point. Jerome, deepfake really is now being used as a tool to defraud a lot of people, and more sadly, it's being used to taint the reputation of individuals. The CICC, on its part, is currently monitoring a lot of these deepfakes through our threat monitoring center, especially those being used to commit commercial frauds when influencers or celebrities are being used to endorse products for their image, not them, but their image is being used to endorse products that are dubious. And another thing is we're also monitoring crime cases or child abuse and child pornography cases, as we have seen in the recent Senate hearing. We're also monitoring that the imagery of people, celebrities, even children, are being used to proliferate pornography. Then once we detect it, we ask whatever platform it's being shown at to take it down. And we also, profess and said that our agency really needs a couple of more tools to detect on a 24/7 basis deepfakes, especially on the dark web.
All right. Okay. I would like to add this into to the discussion, Undersecretary. Recently, there was a Senate hearing rather, which tackles the deepfake, and Senator Risa Hontiveros expressed alarm over the proliferation of deepfakes, particularly in the pornography context, using the artificial intelligence technology. And she said that the use of the technology to perpetrate harmful behaviors, abuses, and crimes against women and children is not new. However, the potential scale in the creation of AI-generated non-consensual and abusive materials is extraordinary, and the speed and extent of its abuse are even more frightening. Do you agree with this, Undersecretary?
I didn't catch the question, Jerome.
Yeah,
Sorry.
do you agree with this statement coming from Senator Risa Ontiveros? Because the potential scale of the potential use of the deepfakes are becoming unprecedented or extraordinary, and the extent of its abuse are getting more frightening and horrendous. Do you agree with her
Yeah,
statement?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think we discussed that during the Senate hearing. I think there's an alarming trend that's going on right now, where in deepfake and the technology is being used to commit not only commercial fraud but basic human rights fraud, especially if it involves children. So I agree with that statement of Senator Ontiveros.
Mm-mm. I see. Okay, and also the actors like Angel Aquino denounced the use of deepfakes. So yeah, it violates it's not only violating the rights of women, and at the same time it's affecting her psychological well-being. So I would like to ask this. So how hard it is currently for deepfake to be detected?
Well, yeah, but here's the sad thing. If you see the global trend, they say that deep fakes and whether it's pornography, whether it's other forms of online harms, they say deep fake is a victimless crime. I don't necessarily agree with that because they say it's not as if you're defrauding someone or violating someone because it's not their real picture, it's not their real imagery. Again, I disagree with that. But the challenge right now is there's a lack and there's a gap in the laws when it comes to deepfakes. Not only here in the Philippines, but I think more so in an international level because, again, who would be the complainant? Who would be the supposed victim? So if there's no law defining who's the complainant, who's the victim, then I think this trend will continue that these perpetrators will go away scot-free.
Okay. So regarding with the tool, Undersecretary, so do we have a tool that we are creating to address this?
Again?
Do we have a tool right now to combat the use of deepfakes? So do we have a tool right now?
To be honest, we have current tools that would detect deepfakes on a real-time basis, but we need a tool really to monitor and scour the internet, especially the social media platforms for these deepfakes. That's something that we lack right now. So if you're asking me if I can detect or if I can analyze the deepfake in real time, yes, I have the tool. We have the tool CCICC, but can we monitor what's being put out there? Then that's something that's a capability that we still lack.
Mm-hmm. So and that involves not just the CICC but of course the private sector as well.
The private sector, the law enforcement agencies, it's really a problem of the whole society.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, so I would like to ask this, Undersecretary. So, given that deepfakes not only affects ordinary people through this pornographic deepfakes, but also it's now being used as a tool for misinformation. So, does deepfakes affect democratic processes such as political misinformation and elections and public discourse?
Oh, definitely. It's being used now to not only generate misinformation, but they also sow fear, discontent. They also question the integrity of government. And it's okay if it's legitimate and organic. But you see the trend right now that these are made by a coordinated attack by scrupulous individuals and even groups. You can see that the trend is it's coming in from other state-backed actors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So these actors are not also in the Philippines but in overseas.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So where is CICC now in terms of public awareness about deepfake and its potential danger? So, how do we how does CICC do it to make the public aware of the benefits and the potential harm that that deepfakes will cause?
Well, if you can see right now, we're very active. We recognize that information and education is the first and foremost line of defense when it comes to these types of online harms, especially deepfakes and its effect. So we thank programs like you and other programs that lend us to talk to our citizenry. We can inform them about being aware of the presence of deepfakes and what to do when they encounter such. Again, I just to stress it, it's the first and foremost line of defense. So you can see it, the web page, the social media pages of CICC. It's rife with other reminders and awareness campaigns.
Awareness campaigns. Okay, so not just in traditional media, but also in digital space. Okay, so all right, great. Okay, so do we have enough rules? You mentioned earlier that we don't have enough regulatory functions or powers. So at the same time, it's not sufficient to hold these deepfake creators accountable. So okay, so we'll try to have Undersecretary Renato Aboy Paraiso back on the line, but he is mentioning that there is lack of regulation and regulation power of the regarding this deepfakes. Okay, so I think Undersecretary Paraiso is back on the line now. Okay, so
We got that, sorry.
okay, that's fine. Okay, so how is the government through CICC and even the ICT, social media companies and other platforms, and even ordinary Filipinos can contribute in the fight against deepfakes?
Well, again, it's we encourage everyone to be aware and to be vigilant in their dealings with the internet. We in the CICC try to keep it safe for you guys, but again, it's the participation of the private sector as well that we need to encourage. We also need to encourage them to speak up and report whenever they see it. That one of the biggest problems is the lack of visibility of the government, the law enforcement agencies when it comes to these types of crimes, because most of our kababayans are not reporting it, whether they're afraid or whether they lack the trust that something would be done. They just simply don't report it. So we encourage them to report these types of incidents.
Okay, so how can the public report the deepfake content, scams, and other online crimes associated with deepfakes, Undersecretary?
Well, we have our hotline, hotline 1326. We also have our social media pages at the CITC, Cybercrime Investigation Coordination Center. We have our webpage in the citc.gov.ph. Each and every one of those avenues can be used as a tool to report these crimes, these incidents, and we are assuring that all complaints will be treated with utmost care. We guarantee confidentiality, and we guarantee that within 24 hours there's a feedback mechanism to report the progress of those cases.
Okay, so that's a good thing that these cases of deepfakes is being addressed fast, and it's within 24 hours. So our kababayans can assure that the case of this one will be resolved as soon as possible.
Within 24 hours, there will be a feedback mechanism.
Okay. My last question, Undersecretary. So how is the CICC coordinates with private and public media organizations and even Presidential Communications Office in addressing deepfakes?
Well, that we are fortunate that we have a strong, very, very strong partnership with all our media partners. I personally am blessed to have taken the role of a spokesperson for the ICT before. So all our friends from media already know me, and I get to rely on them when it comes to critical information that needs to be disseminated, especially with the PCO. If you don't know my story, I was USEC designate at the start of this administration for the PCO before I transferred to the DICT.
Right.
So I have a good working relationship with the people there, especially with the officials there, even the rank and file of the PCO.
All right, very well said. Okay, so the public should be vigilant in monitoring and catching these deepfake contents as this one is becoming prevalent now these days because technology is rapidly advancing. So Filipinos should be more vigilant in on what they are watching, and they should be what we call this should be more certain and be mindful of what they are seeing online.
Yes. I agree that we have to encourage all our kababayans to be more vigilant, be more careful when it comes to the internet.
I see. All right. And with that, thank you so much, Undersecretary Renato Aboy Paraiso, the Acting Executive Director of the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, for joining us in the program. Until next time, Undersecretary.
Thank you, Jerome. Thank you to all your viewers. Thank you.
Okay. And that was Undersecretary Renato Aboy Paraiso of the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center. And with that, we now end this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. But in the meantime, we'll have let's hear the speech of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. In Ilocos Norte. Let's listen in.
Mula sa Presidential Communications Office at Radyo Pilipinas, ito ang Presidential Live Event. Presidential Live Event.
Thank you very much for the introduction from our first district representative, Congressman, Majority Floor Leader, Congressman Sandro Marcos. Andito rin siyempre ang ating diputado na Segunda Distrito, the Congressman from the Second District, Congressman Angelo Barba, our newly installed governor, Governor Cecilia Araneta Marcos. I would also like to greet the commander of the 5th Infantry Division of the Philippine Army, Major General Gulliver Señires. Batak City Mayor, Mayor Marky Chua. Of course, all the mayors, vice mayors, councilors, members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng Ilocos Norte. We also have very many guests from the political leadership of Cagayan, of Pangasinan, of Isabela. At nandito silang lahat. Pasalamatan natin at sila ay nakarating para sa ating pagsasama dito sa pag-ugnay, sa ating pagdiriwang ng 108th birthday ng aking ama. The provincial and government officials, employees, residents of Batak, of course, First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos, fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, the most special guest of all is our, tama yung sinabi ni Gob, our forever First Lady Imelda Marcos. Naimbag na bigat kada kayo amin. And first of all, I would like to thank all of you to have taken the time to join us as we celebrate the 108th birthday of my father here in Batak. It is a very, as you can imagine, it is a very, very important day for the Marcos family because we remember the greatest of all of us, President Ferdinand Erdelin Marcos. Whenever we come and commemorate the life of Ferdinand Marcos, whenever we go back and relive the life and the life of service of Ferdinand Marcos, not only when he was president, but through his entire life, what we always can see and what is always spoken of is the great legacy that he has left us. It is a legacy of service. It is a legacy of sacrifice. It is a legacy wherein he made it very clear to us that if you are going to be a good Ilocano, if you are going to be a good Filipino, then you must be willing to sacrifice everything, including your life, for the Filipino, for the Philippines. We must always remember that to provide good service, to be able to bring good service to our people, then that will need, that we must remember, we must be motivated by the lessons that he left with us, the lessons that we must exercise good judgment and always side with the national interest in the interest of Filipinos. In everything that we do, we must be motivated by a true commitment to service. And it must be driven by a true love of every single Filipino and a love for the Republic of the Philippines. These are the many, many lessons that we must maintain always our dignity. And we must always respect the dignity of every Filipino. And not only respect the dignity of every Filipino, but we must fight for the dignity of every Filipino. We will not allow for any great power, any person, to humiliate or to put down any Filipino. We must also always remember that we must do the right thing. That despite the difficulties, we must always find ourselves on the right side of history. I always remember when I was still a boy, and he would constantly say, never take the easy way out. In other words, make sure that what you are doing is the right thing, no matter how difficult it is. No matter that there is a way that is, again, okay lang, we'll just, if that's the way things are done, we'll just go with the flow. Ika nga. And that was something that was anathema to all of his thinking and all of his policies. And there was another lesson that we learned from, I was about to say the old man, kasi ganun nang, that is how we referred to him when he was alive. And another lesson that we learned from him is that we must always maintain our own dignity and the dignity of the country. And we must always continue to sacrifice and to remember that sometimes the best thing to do, the most honorable thing to do, is the hardest thing that you have to do. But that is the sacrifice that we make, and that is the commitment that we have to the service of Filipino people. So when we remember all of these lessons and the very, very important and very, very wide-ranging and deep legacy that Ferdinand Marcos left to us, what we now, those of us who are still here and still hold his memory in reverence, what we need to do is to make ourselves worthy of that legacy, worthy inheritors of that legacy, that we must also live up to the standards that he set for us, that we must always continue to remember what we are doing, and that what we are doing is not for ourselves. What we are doing is for the country. What we are doing is for the Filipino people. And only then can we say that we are the proper inheritors of such a legacy. Only when we have shown that we have met the standard that He set for us when He was alive. And He continues to set for us in His memory. That is the only time that we can say, yes, we can continue His legacy. But this is not a job that is done by doing one good thing, two good things, three good things. We are only worthy of that legacy if we live a life of service, if we live a life of commitment, if we live a life of sacrifice for our people. If we continue to think of ways to help our people. One of the many things that he often would tell me, do not go by the path that is well trodden. Make your own way. Because if you follow other people, you will end up in just the same place. So that if you want to bring progress to the Philippines, if you want to bring a better life to Filipinos, you must find your own way. You must find your own path. And that is the most important lesson, in that we cannot continue to just do, as we refer to it now, business as usual, just go and continue what has always been done. We must continue to use our skills, our intelligence, our strengths, so that we can find new ways to be of service to the Filipino. So today, as we remember the life of Ferdinand Marcos, and we look to his legacy, what we must now remind ourselves is that we must ask ourselves, are we worthy of such a great legacy? Are we worthy of such an important legacy? Are we worthy of such a deep legacy? We will only be that if we can say that we have given our lives to the service of the Filipino. And that is the ultimate lesson that we must learn and to live by when we think of Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. Thank you very much, and good morning.
You just heard the speech of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as he gave his keynote speech at the 108th birth anniversary of his father, former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. in Ilocos Norte. That's what they call Marcos Day. And also the former First Lady Imelda Marcos was present at the occasion of the Marcos Day at the Immaculate Conception Church in Batac, Ilocos Norte. And with that, we now end this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our production team and technical personnel, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.